Log into gyroscopemeet.com, the hottest online radio station in the world. GS Radio all day, all night, worldwide. Powered by Gyroscope Media Group, LLC.
GS Radio, the best internet radio station worldwide. Providing the best in music and talk shows. Go to www.gsradionj.com and check out the best internet station in the world. You're listening to GS Radio Internet Radio Station powered by GMG, LLC.
All right, y'all, what's up? It's Marlon Randolph. Welcome to the third episode, man, the Staff Meeting Podcast, man, where we rocking it live with y'all every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, man. I'm going to get right into it. Last week, we was just kind of kicking it with y'all. The week before that, we was going hammer. This week, man, I got my guest. My boy Elo is in the building with us tonight. We also got Chop. We got Abe. And we'll give introductions. Y'all know, I'm Marlon Randolph, man. Y'all host, y'all comedian, y'all favorite opinionated a-hole that's coming out of Brooklyn by the way of Detroit. I always throw Mobile, Alabama in there too, just because I want my lineage to be known that they just not like us. All right, on my left side, man, we're gonna start with my man that's always holding us down. DJ Chalk is in the building. What up, man?
What up, what up, what up, what up?
Good to see you, man. How you doing? We don't have no Chuck E. Cheese birthdays this week?
Not this week.
You was up and down them stairs last week, man.
It was the missus' birthday, so you know how that go.
Oh, I thought it was a kid. It was the missus' birthday.
No, it was Niecy's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Niecy. Okay, all right. Well, you can't. You know what? I take everything back because you're a bad boy. You should have canceled.
Nah, man, gotta continue. She understood.
All right, but I don't want us doing no shows like that, man. Because I looked at it and I struggled through that, man. I was like, because me and A,
you ain't supposed to tell the people that, man. Come on.
I don't give a rat's.
Here we go. I'll drop a bomb on you on that one.
Go ahead.
Drop.
See, I'm okay with it. It's all good, man, because you know what's the beauty of it? People like transparency and they like people that's humble. You know what I mean? You can't say it's all good. Like Denzel said, I don't care what you call it. You can call it green magic. Just take the blue off the mother effer.
Oh, yeah, but you know, some people don't know. Still good information, you know.
So you Nicky Barnes, you want to take the blue magic. You want to take the blue magic and switch it up.
Nah, I say switch it up now. I ain't say switch it up now.
All right. Well, I'm glad to have you on, man. Y'all know who he is, man. He's sitting up under me on the left side, man. This is my guy right here, man. So when we was doing staff meeting radio back in Newark, New Jersey, back in the days, this was my guy. He used to come in and do all of our sports, man. I am lucky, man, to still have such good friends in my life. Ladies and gentlemen, coming out of, you know what, last week I messed up and said Patterson, but he gonna correct me. Coming out, it's not Patterson, is it?
It is Patterson. It is Patterson, you're right.
All right, coming out of Patterson, New Jersey, y'all. Y'all know what he is, man. He's a professor, world-renowned, man, activist out there in the streets. Please give it up for the one and only Big Abe is in the building.
I appreciate it, man. You're too kind. Activist is strong, but I am here for black folks, and I am an educator. I am out here. Let's get to it.
Your Wi-Fi look like you got it from Boost Mobile.
Of course I did not. I have never been a fan.
He choppy.
Been a fan.
He choppy.
He
choppy.
I'm not sure why. I'm not sure.
You're moving slow. There you stop. Yeah, you choppy.
Yeah, but while you fixing that, we're going to come on to my man. So under me, ladies and gentlemen, so as we do staff meeting podcasts, man, we want to bring in guests every now and then. And this guy right here, man, I got to tell you, this is one of my friends in the game. I got a handful of friends, and this guy right here is one of them. And I say that, I'm not saying it just to be saying it. When you breaking bread with people, you're on the phone with them, you've been at their home, they've been at your home, then y'all more than just fellow comedians. Y'all more like family. So ladies and gentlemen, man, coming out of the DMV area, man, one of the hardest working comedians in the business. Please give it up for my good friend, always funny and opinionated, Mr. Lawrence Owens is in the building. Let's go.
My God, what's happening, Marlon Randolph? What's happening, fellas?
What's going on, bro?
Staff meeting.
The activists and the DJ. Staff meetings, Marlon. Staff meetings.
Staff meeting. Yeah, you on with an activist? We got an activist, a DJ, and two comedians.
There we go.
Let's get this party started. So, Elo, first of all, how your week been?
Man, my week has been weakened.
All right.
Your week has been weakened. That's how life
Hey,
is.
hey, man, it's what it is, man. Let me tell you something, man. Humans going human. You know what I've learned? You can people look. You can do whatever you want, but always remember, man, you can't choose your consequence. So with that in mind, I just be like, I be letting these humans human, and I just gon' get away from them, man, and just try to save what little bit of sanity I got left.
Remember when we was little and the older guys seemed like they was a little weird and odd because they didn't want to be bothered? That's us
Right.
now. That's
That
us
is
now.
us now. That is us now. And I understand them two Muppets up in the balcony that keep interrupting the show. I understand them now. 'Cause I was like, man, how come the cat when I was little, why they always got man Kermit trying to get this production together? I understand them now, man.
Would you want to be around Animal if you was them? Would you want to be around Bleeker? Bleep, 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 bleep.
Yeah, man, and Skeeter back there going crazy because he the production manager. But I get it now. I understand, man. It's crazy how these cartoons reference life, but we were just so into the animation or the puppet sense. It's like they telling us how the world operates. So yeah, man.
Man, well, thank you for being part of the show this week, man. I appreciate you, man. Yes. So let's get right into it, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a crazy week. Last week we delved into politics a lot, but you know, we're gonna give politics a slight break. We're gonna talk about something that I don't think too many people talk about. They try to, but they don't go in it hard enough. And the reason why is because everybody know that with this narrative, mothers control it. And we want to talk about being a father in the entertainment business and just being a dad alone. We have 4 fathers here who, with different backgrounds. I didn't grow up with my father. Did you grow up with your dad?
Yes.
Abe, did you grow up with your dad?
Yep.
Lawrence, you grew up with your dad?
No, sir.
So we got 2 that grew up with their dad, and we got 2 who didn't grow up with their dad. So what I'm gonna ask you, Chop, is growing up with your dad. First of all, did mom and dad like get along the whole time? That's a dumb question. Did you witness? Was he in the picture the whole time, or like did they separate?
He was in the picture the whole time, but when they divorced, everything came out.
Okay. Did you ever get a chance for him to like when you got older for him to be human and tell his story?
He never. I really never pushed him to do it, because at that point, I was like, what is he gonna do now?
Okay.
But
you never did you have any animosity towards him or resentment? What is it that you felt like he didn't do or could have done for you that would have like made you pull?
I mean, to me, he could have. We could have interacted more with me growing up, but he was working. He was doing a lot of other stuff, and like I became a drummer because of him.
Wow.
Following his footsteps.
So he was a musician.
He was a drummer. He wasn't a musician, but I took it further. So drumming, steel drums, band, I did it all. So I'm just saying he but he was young. It doesn't come with a handbook. So he was doing what he was doing, and hey.
And Chop, you come up in different times where that stipulation was the hardest, that men was the breadwinners.
Right.
If you ain't the breadwinner, you below scum of the earth. Like no
Right.
disrespect to your father, but you come up. We was all little in them times
Right. Yeah.
where father meant breadwinner, nothing else.
Yeah.
He couldn't be vulnerable. He couldn't say what's going on. If he ain't the breadwinner, they associated dad with man,
Right.
and put that all together,
Put
and
it all
husband and
together.
tie that all together, as
Yep.
opposed to this cat is human.
Yeah. So he did that. So I was like, okay.
But so you said, hold on, Chop. So Lauren, hello, because I like that. So real quick, hello. So you don't think that they look at us as breadwinners today?
I mean, they do, but the pros and the cons is that the women are making more money now than they ever did, as far as that. And another pro is that oftentimes if people mature enough, then it's not even about the money. Because I know a couple women that make more money than their men, but they said that because I make my own money, Now he doesn't have the pressure of thinking he has to come in and finance everything. So the women that make money don't even see it that way. Oftentimes they just want to look down on the man like, I make more money than you. No, you get a chance to meet him now. Because
Do you?
it's go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm just saying. Do you think that your lady could ever respect you if she makes more money than you?
I think she
Be
can.
honest.
I think she can if she understands what a man is. That means she has to have a father around to teach her those values. Women who never had a man around would never understand that.
That's
They
what
just
Kevin
think it's
Samuels
wrong.
used to say. You know, I ain't mean to say his name. I don't want us to, our views to go low. But you're right. You know, women be mad at Kevin Samuels.
I never said it. Not the Godfather.
They
Not
be
the
mad at.
Godfather.
Yo, if you, I tell all men out there that's listening to this show, if you ever argue with your girl, put Kevin Samuels on every TV and wear gray jogging pants. That's all you got to do. And don't say nothing to her. That's it. Let Kevin Samuels say all of it. That's it. Big Abe, so your experience with your dad, did you grow up in the house with him or no?
My parents were no, my parents were divorced when I was like 9, maybe 10,
Mm,
maybe yeah, somewhere between 7 and 10.
okay. So you used
But
to
my
go to
father's
his house?
always yeah. My father was always we were always together. Like I was like I used to do shit like my football equipment and all that stuff. Like I'd be at the library with all my stuff, and like my mother dropped me off at the library. My father come pick me up for practice, stuff like that. So I mean, and, by the time I got to high school, that's a little different. But yeah, there was never a time where I was without my father. And by the time I was in high school, and I could walk in between houses. I mean, I did that. I did that a lot. I played it in between. Played in between games because my father worked 24-hour shifts. So every day he was going to work, whether my mother knew his schedule or didn't know his schedule, I'm gonna stay over there tonight. So now whether I went to school or not, that's something different. But my father was yeah. We were always. I played little league sports. My father put me through sports from 6th grade on. My father had. My parents were divorced. There's been a weight bench for a dining room set. Just about every apartment my father ever had. So.
All right. So thank you for sharing that. So let's transition into us being dads and how did our fathers indirectly or directly play a role in that? I would just
Let me tell you something. Let me go first. The beauty of these two gentlemen, they both said, even though it ended in divorce, they both said they was married. So do you understand they have a different mindset already when them two young brothers hit the world than opposed to you and I? You
Right.
and I are single mama survivors. They are not.
right.
You feel me? So they said married. They ain't stayed together. They both said our parents divorced. Even though it ended in that, the beauty of it, they was married because those were the times. You dig? It's
Right.
not like that now. People are just ignorant of marriage and anything people are ignorant of, they become afraid of, and they just stay away. But those were the times back then. Cats got married, man. I'm a single mama survivor, man. I ain't never met my father. So by the time I got out here in the world, I done emulated all her energy. And I'm thinking it's sweet because she telling me, you this, you that, you that. I never had that man voice just to talk to me just as a man. So now I'm uncoachable. Coaches
Right.
hate me. And
Right.
I'm not understanding why. I know
Right.
now, but back then I'm not. Because I coach now. And it's like, why you gotta have the last word? That's frustrating. Why you gotta whine and pout when you don't get your way? Why you throw tantrums? All that is frustrating.
Right.
So
Oh no, thank you, man, for sharing that. So, and I mean, so I like that. I like that you were able to say that these guys how they wouldn't have got married because you know, that starts with men. So why aren't men asking women to marry them today? Then you're helping me like really good on kind of where I'm going with this.
because I believe that because women is more opportunities to just make more money, and it's not even about the money, just more opportunities to be in more prestigious jobs or prevalent job, like whatever adjective you want to throw out there. What women do that I've learned, this is my solo opinion. I ain't saying it to the fellas, but all your people listening before they start coming at me. When women get the come up, they make men their competition. But we don't compete with women. That be the problem. Just imagine somebody picking on y'all or yelling and you ignoring them. They get frustrated. Just imagine if you be like, man, go ahead on. And somebody want their attention to, oh, so you just like when we on stage, Marlon, you ever ignore somebody who's talking loud or a heckler? And
Right.
it's like because you didn't acknowledge them, they're gonna keep going and going until you finally be like, hey, bro. And that's all you say is, hey, bro. Oh, here we go with this. So that's what I've learned with women when they get up, when they get the bag or whatever you want to call it. Now
Right.
they make us their competition.
Right.
Compete with us, we ain't competing with y'all. That's
Right.
what I see.
Okay. All right. What about you, Chop?
Um,
Are you married, Chop?
no.
How long you and Niecy been together?
16 years.
You plan on getting married, or at this point, nah?
We haven't, I mean, we discussed it, but never followed
I
through with
remember
it.
when you met her.
Yeah.
remember
So,
when you met
so
her,
to
yeah.
piggyback off what L said, so here's my experience, right? With the marriage. Once my parents divorced, and I found out, because they just kept stuff away from me.
Mm-hmm.
So once I found out stuff that was going on, it basically made me look at marriage different. Where I'm like, okay, why did y'all to a point hide all of that stuff from me? I have a brother. He's 9 years younger than me. So that was my question. Why? Because now I'm out here in this world. I was basically, from what I lived and saw, I was looking basically to have a relationship like that.
Right.
But for it to be, when it came out, all this stuff that was going on, that went on, this and that, I felt like I was just pretty much like you guys, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? What was the difference? Just a piece of paper saying that you was married?
Nah, let me stop you there, Chop. With all due respect, the
Right.
difference is to be able to hear just a man's voice in a sense when it's time to be stern or business. We never had that. Like if a coach be like, let's go. I'm whining about that as opposed to you having a man's voice around. You maybe can differentiate when your father was upset or when he was like, nah, I just need you to move quicker or mean business. That's a huge situation, regardless of what went on with them, just to hear that voice. If you don't believe me, watch First 48. They always got to go get a female detective to come in there, and then they start snitching.
Then they start
when the
snitching,
man in
right.
there,
But-
man, I ain't telling you nothing, man.
but I mean,
ain't-
my-
man, you,
My
soon as that
pops.
woman come in, eat some of them greens, eat some of them ribs. You be like, yeah, I killed 3 of them. My man Tony killed 5. What?
But see, my pops, he didn't really show his emotions. You understand? So to a point, it was still hard to read him.
Okay.
He'd come in, he'd just be soft spoken. Now, if he was upset, like one time I was in a situation, he was so calm, but then hearing other people talk to me about it, the way that he reacted, he just flipped out on it. He flipped. So now he didn't.
That's the problem with calm people is, if you're not being human, what's gonna happen is when you eventually decide to be a human, it's gonna be ugly.
Yeah.
It's gonna be ugly.
But in his days, who was he going to talk to in back? Like the generation before us, them men
Right.
ain't say nothing.
Right.
No, I
You know how
understand.
they spoke? They
I
spoke
understand.
through other women.
No, I
That's why when
understand.
a lot of fathers die, you see 9 different brothers and sisters. I mean, I'm not saying that's right, but them
Right.
times was different, man.
Right.
Wasn't no access
Right.
to no mental health. Ain't nobody know what no PTSD was. If you complain, then you soft.
Yeah.
So them era, them were men.
They-
You understand?
they
Not
had to-
saying if he
they
did
had to
something
suck it
wrong
up.
with your mama, but they had to handle it different from us.
No.
We got resources to
Yeah,
be
but,
able, you know what I'm saying, to express ourselves.
As becoming a father now, it's to me, it's like that's not healthy. That wasn't healthy either. You understand? It's like how do you cope with it? It's so much stuff that your body goes through that you just don't know. Like, and I'm gonna put it short. My mom's died 2019. My pops died 2020. My uncle died 2021. My cousin, like my brother, died 2022. My aunt and my father, I call him my father-in-law because I've been with Nisi for 16 years. They died not even 24 hours apart. So I'm sitting here and I'm going through it. And I'm saying, well, damn. My mother's side of the family, my grandfather and my uncle died 8 hours difference on Christmas. So how did they deal with this? Like my father, even when his moms died and his pops died, I never seen him show any emotions. But your body, from what I'm learning, with going through the grief counseling and all that stuff, your body goes through a lot of changes. So now I'm really sitting here saying, damn, if I'm going through what I went through with this, we know that back in the day they didn't do no therapy. They didn't do none of that. So how did they really cope with this? Or did they really even cope with it? To the point of it could bring your health down. My mom's died at 62. My pops died at 69.
That's young.
Yeah. So it's like this is crazy.
Right.
So that in the sense of, what I found out and this and that. My son is on the spectrum.
What is that?
He's
on the phone service?
Down. No. Are you serious? Down syndrome, but shit, he's smart as shit. He's smart. He could come in and work your stuff, Marlon. So I don't even. Anyway, but it just made.
I can't help myself.
Even with that aspect of me being a father is basically me looking different into him. Where, like I said, my father, love him to death, this and that, but we could have spent more time together. Like as I got older, in my 20s, late 20s, early 30s, this is when we really started to talk.
Are you in therapy?
Yeah, I'm in therapy. I had to.
When do you go to therapy?
I have therapies on Tuesdays.
Black woman, black man, what?
Nah, she look Spanish.
Really?
Yeah.
You phone or you go see her?
We do it via Zoom.
Is she attractive?
She.
She.
She's cute.
She's good. Is she any good?
She's good.
She give an opinion or she just listen?
She.
What attractive got to do with that part?
They say men learn.
What happens?
Attractive women.
What happens is that she the way that she words the question basically makes me think and pull it in. Then once, really, when I start to roll, like now I'm comfortable with her. Before, like, actually, this Tuesday was like the 90-day mark. And I said, well, it's working. So she said, well, you really improved because when you started, you would just say what happened and nothing else. So like,
well, send me a picture of her, man, because I can't handle ugly therapists, man. I'm not gonna learn. I'm not gonna heal. I'm not.
My therapist looked like the lady from Poltergeist when she said, "Tell her you love her right now. Tell her you love." Remember the little short lady?
Yeah, Carolyn.
yeah.
Carolyn. Don't go near the light.
Tell Carolyn. Tell her now.
Nah, man, because you're gonna be focused on that, and then you're gonna be like, just give me the pills. Let me get out of here. You ain't gonna hear nothing she gotta say. So you start talking, and Marlon, when you talk to the beast strike. Give me my pills and let me get up out of here. You remember that's how she talked in the movie? When the beast comes, he wants purity. Give me my pills. I gotta go. I don't want it.
That's why Beyonce mama left him, because remember he was making a steak in the kitchen. That was my man, Beyonce's ex-husband. He was in that movie.
But what I learned,
Oh, my bad.
You as a person, you as a man, basically have to be real with yourself. Period. Like,
You should always be authentic, therapist or not. Always,
You're right.
especially if you're in your 50s, man. You should not be putting the front on for nobody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you definitely shouldn't be putting no front for nobody. Cause I know I'm in my early 50s, and you Frederick Douglass. So there's no reason why you should be putting front on.
Speaking for the man that got more than I do, right?
They're here. Remember she said that?
They're here. Oh man.
God damn. Yo, so Big A. So you as a dad now, you got young ones, like you got babies. You don't like I got older kids, Lawrence got older kids, Chuck's son is moving into that direction, but you got babies. Do you have any kids outside? You got any baby mamas or just your own?
No. I was just practicing before. I wasn't shooting for real.
So you shot at the club. You're a club shooter one.
Yeah. I do know. No, only with the one club. No, everybody else I was just practicing. All the other times I was just faking, pump faking. You know, yeah.
So this was intentional.
It definitely was.
Oh, you love this girl. You love this person, this woman.
Yeah, most days, when I'm not trying to fuck her, like, yeah.
Took him a minute. He's stammering. It took him a minute. He finally got it out. It took him a minute. He was like, yeah.
That's because I'm ready to pluck her right now.
Oh, please don't pluck her, man.
Yeah, that's because I'm ready to pluck her.
If she ever watch this show, she gonna like, why I take you spot? She gonna do the same thing.
I'm sure. It was intentional. You look in the camera. It was intentional. You're nerve-wracking.
Hey, don't pluck her, man. You a muscular dude, man. You pluck her and now her equilibrium off. Don't do that, man. It's cool.
I will say this. My choice was very intentional. It was definitely, will I say spearheaded by my parents? My parents were definitely in mind. I definitely love the woman. I mean, you source your way through things and try to work your way through things. We started off talking a little bit about the money conversation, which, I mean, we don't have particular money issues, but you as y'all know, y'all in relationships or whatever, you can't, of course, and I don't think you gentlemen subscribe to what's happening on social media, but you have to do what works for you and that type of thing. As I'm going through school right now, because I'm in school, you know, I have four vending machines. I work 2 jobs or whatever.
Oh wow.
She's like she got her things going on or whatever may have you. I mean, you know, you catch somebody like when she called when we first started doing with each other. I was up. I took a step back with one job to start going to school. So,
school you go to? Seton Hall? Where you go?
Actually, I don't go to Seton Hall. I do stay in Northville, but no, I go to Grand Canyon. I'm about to get I'm literally 3 classes away from a master's in
That's outstanding, brother. That's outstanding, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. But as
So
far
we
as
gonna get some sound effects right, Frederick.
We got it, man. We got it.
as far
Y'all
as
can't
my
hear it
children,
over there.
my parents, my father, they definitely a direct influence. My parents are both. My parents are in their early 60s, but
they young.
But they took 2 different. Even though they're 2 years apart, they gravitated to 2 very different decades. My father definitely gravitated towards more of pimp player, the Mac. My mother definitely gravitated more towards ladies first, and that a lot of that shit shapes my ideals or whatever may have you.
All right. Hey, so you're giving your kids basically what they gave you. So all right. So I want to switch things up a little bit. Thank you for all those stories. Oh, with me.
What about you, man?
Yeah, thank you. You know what, man? Being a parent is a tough job. It's tough, man, and I've had a hell of a journey, man. I love all my children. I have 4. I love them, man. It's nothing I would not do any of them, man. But I will say, man, one of the biggest struggles is I wish I would have had the insight, maturity, and wisdom to understand the importance of having children with one woman. Period.
Hmm.
Period. I wish they all could have just shared the same mothers. I would have made life a little easier for them. I would have made life easier for me. And
But also, Marlon, you didn't have that model to look. You didn't have that structure.
right. That's why I
That's
said
my whole point about being a single mama survivor. We don't have that structure of, because most of us come, we got all different daddies. You understand what I'm saying? And we learn that and be like, Mom ain't saying nothing. I guess it's okay. We didn't have that to look upon. You know what I'm
right,
saying? As the
right.
barometer to be like, yeah, let's do it all with one woman.
I'm trying to do a better job of trying to like take complete ownership because I spend a lot of time talking about what my mother didn't do and should have did, and sometimes I see as she's getting older, man, it's just like how much more can a woman take of hearing what she didn't do? So I'm trying to get away from it a little bit and just talk about how I wish I would have had the insight. But we're saying the same thing. I'm just saying it in a political way. I'm just saying in a political way. But just because it's a show that she could possibly watch and she hears it all the time. But I wish, man. And to be honest with you, man, I have a family that grew up with my father, man, and they don't speak like living with him was like hitting the lottery, or living with him was like living with Cliff Huxtable. So my life could have been worse than what it is. And because those guys, like Chalk said, those guys back then, they are from a different, they're from a different world, man. They didn't have emotions. They were very, and because of that, they came off extremely mean. And when they didn't express themselves, that's where a lot of the violence came from. And they were taught that because of the society they lived in. And I'm not trying to blame society for everything, but unfortunately, that's the case when you're a second class citizen. So, so a lot of them brought that home. Second class citizens came home treating their wives and their families like third class citizens, and sometimes our mothers saved us from that terror because they went through it. But it's also kind of selfish too because if kids are not going to come up with that, then you might as well not really bring them here. And I even include me. I stand firmly on that. It doesn't make sense to bring them here if they're not going to get that positive, good household. At least with both of them trying. And I can say my dad didn't try because he was married.
Mm.
But that's the thing, though, Marlon, man. I used to have a coach to say this all the time, man. He said the two best abilities are liability and accountability. And oftentimes, man, people don't hold themselves accountable. And then it's not when you saying how much can a black woman take. The reason why I believe you said that is because maybe your mama's still ducking accountability, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, because I know that's how my mama was. It's like, just talk to me. Whatever's done is done. I'm here. Let me know what it is. But then, you go back to that old school way of parenting. This my house. I do what I want. You don't like it, get out. I'm grown. And that doesn't help because I'm trying to learn. You know what I'm saying?
I'm very, in my journey, I have not seen that many mothers or women that have that ability to think of the larger picture. Some do. Let me be clear. Some look at the larger. There's a large picture. A lot of them are incapable of that. They really stay stuck in what's going on right now, and they're not looking at why it's important to do, what you need to do for this person to become the adult we need them to be, and why we have to make those compromises and sacrifices. They're just not thinking about that. They're thinking about themselves. That's why everything out their mouth is my child, my life, my body, my
But
my that.
can I just interject for a second because I don't wanna speak on anybody else's experience. As I like I said, first and foremost, because if my lady do see it, all she will pick out is what she didn't see. I very much so do love the girl, but I I try to sometimes. I won't tell you I do the best at it. I do it with her, and I try to do it with just about. That's not the truth. I try to do it with all of my significant relationships. I really do. Um,
You try to
as
do.
I see my father is 21 years older than me, My mother is 19 years older than me. I make a sincere effort because I can understand. I know where I was at when I was 21, and I know where I was at when I was 19. And I'm beefing with my father right now too. Like he getting on my nerves too. Everybody getting on my nerves. Don't worry about it. Everybody leave me the fuck alone right now. But
First of all, it's because you got that trash ass hat on. How you from New
okay,
Jersey and root
whoa,
for them?
wait,
That's the number one.
wait,
I've been trying to, bro. I've been
About,
trying
he
to
about,
hold it in
he
my
about to get
apology.
some
wait.
How
he
you
about to
from
get some
Jersey?
gunshots,
How
Abe.
you from Patterson?
we can
How
we
you
can
from Patterson, brother?
we can address all of this. I hope you're not a commies fan.
I'm from DC. He said that. Who else? But you from Patterson,
You
bro.
are from. Wait, I'm not gonna get too far off track, but we are talking about the hog. Leave it, please.
What's
You
on
are
your
in
hand? What's on
Patterson.
your hand? Let me
But
see.
you are 100
Dallas
years
Dallas
old, brother.
Cowboys.
Remember, we're the little brother with more championships. Never forget that type of thing. We are the little brother with more chips. So you watch yourself.
Oh, Cowboy.
Cowboys.
Yes, yeah.
And,
We're the
and what
little
he's
brother.
doing, and what he's
Whoa.
doing. Listen
Whoa,
to me,
whoa, whoa,
Abe,
no,
because
no,
I
no.
like you, bro.
100. No, you have a. There's a patch on your jersey that says 100 years. 100, and we have more championships.
I'm not
Never forget
disputing that. Hear me out. I'm not
No,
disputing that.
but it's not about you. You can't dispute a fact. You can't dispute that. That's a fact. You can't dispute a fact. But what I'm saying catch up. We're a little brother, and we're in the league. Catch up.
Okay, but here's what I'm saying. You're doing what you said your woman do. And he making that point. You right on that. You got more championships than us. That's not my point. This my point. How are you from Patterson, New Jersey, and Roof? That's all I said. You went
No,
to.
that's not all you said. No, I wouldn't have to bring up the things I said if that was all you said. I got hit by way of my father. I inherited it.
Okay. Okay.
But hello, New Jersey don't have no football team. You know that, right?
Hey.
Jersey don't have a football team.
Yep.
Man, y'all got the Giants. The Giants play in Jersey. The Jets play in Jersey.
That's not New
the
Jersey.
people I
That
know.
was New York.
That's not a New Jersey
South
team.
Jersey root for the Eagles, and
Midgets
anybody
continually
up
come
north.
up small. That's a fact. The midgets regularly come up small.
New Jersey don't have a team. New Jersey don't have a team.
So yeah, I mean, hey, that is that. But before I get too far away, I will say this: what I've always tried to do, and as I'm listening through you gentlemen, shop your way through things with feelings and emotions that are rightfully yours to own and speak on. My siblings can speak to at times what they think my parents have done and have not done. But what I think I understand more than anything else is once again, I understand who they were. I have an understanding of how old they were, how young they were, and I allow them all to exist in their own space. I won't tell you my parents did everything right, but for a man, and I don't know you gentlemen's mother's situation, but for a man who did not have a roadmap as far as being and once again, me and him button heads right now. I don't hold the things we don't agree on. I won't even call them mistakes. Either way, but I don't. But I give him room to be him. I mean, my father, he was figuring it out as he was going along. As you talk about with non-emotional stuff and things of that nature, I'm in little league football pictures with my left finger severely broken or whatever and whatnot. My mother's a nurse. Wayne, his finger is like, no, he has to go to the hospital. He all right. Oh no, my finger was definitely broken. Just things like my father being very stern. My father showing no emotion. My father didn't have a roadmap. But I give him, and who am I to say I extend grace as much as I can understand who he was, and I can understand what he was trying to do. And I do the same with my mother, because I don't believe either one of them are flawless with things, and I do try to just build on that as I work with my children, as I work with my lady.
I think that's great. I think that's great that you I think all four of us are pretty much doing that. What I got out of that, and that is, we are using our own experiences to create a GPS and navigation system for our children. And that's the compass we have for them, man. And I think that's beautiful, man. I applaud all y'all for being great fathers, man. And we need the guys need to see more of it so they can understand what life really is. It's not sneakers, it's being a dad. All right. So Richard Pryor said something in one of his shows where he said that a lot of men would get beat by the police and then go home and beat their wives. And I remember listening to Nikki Giovanni on YouTube, and she was having a conversation with James Baldwin, and she told James Baldwin, she said, why can't black men just fake it when they come home the same way they fake it with their bosses? If they can fake it with their bosses when they know their bosses are terrorizing them and don't love them, and they can go, yes, master, no problem, sir, this and that. But then as soon as they get behind their back, they're like, they can't stand that cracker, calling them names, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm quoting, these are not my words. And then you come home.
I know there's no action.
And then you come home and you beat your kids and you beat your wife. And she said black women were just terrified during that generation. Now I bring that up to say Richard Pryor came from his soul and spoke truth. Richard Pryor was not always super funny the way these guys are now. Like now you have people who they gotta be funny like this. Richard Pryor was kind of just telling stories. He was in his stories, in his character, in his inflection, in his voice, in his physical being, in his lecturing, his tone. It's all of it was funny and his experiences. Why don't we see anything like that today? Why can't we get a Bill Cosby, Richard Pryor like Dick Gregory type of comedy? Why does it seem like everything is funny, and people are not being themselves?
Because that's
Well, first of all, man, people are just nowadays impatient. We have evolved. This is beyond the microwave era. This is the meteor era. Like everything got to be
What era?
instantaneous.
The what?
The
What?
meteor, the Halley's Comet, like something. The Amtrak. It got to be something fast in the microwave, man. Whatever is fast in the microwave, man, they heat up quicker. Because I'm telling you, man, it's like the attention span is shorter and shorter. And then the fact that so many people who call themselves comedians, the game is oversaturated as opposed to that time. It really was, you know what I'm saying, like steps in order to be that way. And back then, if you was funny and you earned that right, then you got blessed with that platform because it was truly about talent. Nowadays, it ain't about talent, man. It's about popularity. These cats wasn't going for popularity. They was actually doing their talent, their craft. They was artists. It's not too many artists left, man. It's not.
So you don't think the guys today, there's no way to bring that kind of art form to make it back adult? I feel like it lost its adult edge. It's very teen popish. What do you got to think?
I think people want to, Marlon, but then you ever know somebody that want to do something, you know what I'm saying, but like I'm picking on Abe, but I'm using him as an example, just an example. He said he got Plant rooting for Dallas because of his father. So what if Abe be like, nah, I'm gonna root for the Giants because I'm from Patterson. But then everybody who Cowboys fan, come on, Abe, come on, Abe, come on. So you're gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and root for the Cowboys. The point I'm making is that it may be some people who want to bring back artistry, but the pressure of the instantaneous gratification, the pressure of how many followers you got, the pressure of can you fill up seats, takes away from that artistry that they just give in and win and roam. That's the problem. People are afraid to continue to, how they say, stand on business or 10 toes down. Like, I'm not looking for the fame. I'm gonna be an artist. I'm gonna be an artist until I die. And if I happen to get promoted to that platform by the Most High or the comedy gods, then so be it. But I want to be an artist, man, because that's how you gain a loyal fan base and you're able to convey your message in a Pryor like form. I'm not saying I'm funny as Pryor, but I can be me is what I'm saying and build my fan base. So
I agree with you. That's why I'm where I'm at. That's why I've not went to that next level because it's got to be my way. When I go into environments and they have all this policing going on, to me ain't nothing funny about that. So I work at Blockbuster before I do that shit. What do you think, Chalk and Dave, about that? Y'all fans of comedy. Y'all seen me perform. What do y'all think?
I just think that the world is just totally different.
Okay.
Even from coming from a DJ point of view, everybody's a damn DJ.
Right.
But what happened? They made these programs to dummy it down. Like I started in with vinyl, straight
Right.
up. So all this stuff now, not that I'm hating, but as I tell the DJs, I said all this stuff you're doing with these controllers, you wouldn't be able to do it with vinyl like that. Press buttons. They got the BPMs where you can just match up the songs by beat per minute. No headphones, and you're DJing. Take that all away. Take that all away, and let me see you do what you do with vinyl. So it's just the way that the world is advancing now. I mean, from when I was growing up, even the stages from the records to the CDs to the MP3s. It took me a long time to convert because I didn't want to. I felt like things was just lost. Like to me, it's they dummy you down
Right.
in order for you to basically depend on them.
Right.
Even with the music, we know back in the day, Public Enemy. We know where they was from. We knew where LL was from. We knew West Coast. Now everybody is sounding the goddamn same. So you could be in New York, sound like you down in ATL or somewhere.
Right.
It's like it's and it's crazy. Even like I was trying to watch the awards the other night because I missed it, the BET Awards.
Okay.
Everybody's doing the same damn thing. They're twerking. They're doing this. Where's the creativity?
Right.
And it's like, it's just, I mean,
Style over substance, brother.
Yeah,
when you said it, this creativity, they want style over substance.
Yeah,
man.
so
What do you think? I'm sorry, Charles. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Hey, what do you think? Cause I want to move us into some other stuff. Go ahead. Hey, what do you think?
I think that the attention span thing is a real thing. Even as I do listen to audiobooks, it takes a lot, and I do it myself. I read physical books, but people don't have that attention span, and it is very much so evident through social media. So to hit on your direct point about the form of comedy, but with all things, it being microwave or media right now, people don't have the attention span, and because there are so many, I guess you would say niche things or whatever may have you, building an organic following would be a way to go, and it is how you do get a true crowd. But I mean, if everything is on demand, everything is on demand right now. So you can, as far as that goes, he taking too long to get to the joke. I want to laugh right now. So
right,
the immediacy of things or whatever is a factor in that. I think.
Right. No, I you know what? I think about this subject all the time. I have to be honest with you guys. And sometimes I get into old man mode and I go, it's the damn internet. Because I remember life without the internet. I remember when you used to watch a TV show and you couldn't wait to watch episode 2 next week. Now you're conditioned because you're binge watching, so it's impossible for you to watch an episode today and then watch an episode next week because you're conditioned to binge watch. And, that's internet. I think also, too, is that when people didn't have anything, they created. Michael Jackson is a part of James Brown. He's a part of Jackie Wilson. But when he made Thriller, I watch Thriller all the time because I'm so fascinated with the creativity. And he was able to create that because, he was a big fan of Vincent Price and John Landis. And John Landis did American Werewolf in London and what that did in movie theaters. And so when he did it, he wanted to have that effect that the movie theaters had. So he brought that creativity. And I just think that the creativity is gone because the people are with instant gratification are saying, hey, you don't, this is good, and it's mediocre, and you have nobody saying anything that's good anymore. Like gatekeepers, you actually do need them because as much as they can be slimy, they still are good at saying, separating the garbage from what's really art form. So I just think that that plays a role. And I also think even with hip hop, hip hop was created from nothing. A bunch of guys in the Bronx that was, doing backwards flips on mattresses and shit like that. When you don't have nothing, you become creative. When you don't have anything, when life is hard, that's when you create. When you don't have money, that's when you create. When you find a way, you become smart when you don't have the resources and the needs. And I think now it's just becoming to a point, man, where all of that has been taken for granted. So the brain is not working the way the brain used to work. We are not machines. So what's happening is that our phones are becoming our brains, and our brains are not functioning at the high level they're supposed to function at, which plays a role in creativity. It plays a role in everything, not just with, think about, look who's running for office. To say no more, the highest office in the country. So say no more, and he goes to McDonald's, and now all the Big Macs got E. coli. McDonald's is going to suffer because of this clown. So people are not. We want to go back to him, but that's where we at. But it is what it is. I want to go into one more thing before we wrap things up. I want to go into I want to touch on mental health, and I know we touched on that a little bit. And I want to go into this mainstream versus urban since we're talking about comedy, and then I want Big Abe to bring in something he talked about earlier with the Exonerated Five. Then we're going to wrap it up. So, mainstream versus urban comedy. And Abe, I don't know if y'all familiar with this, but with black comics, there's always been a Chitlin circuit, period. Even with everything that we've done. A good example of that is the movie Color Purple when they went to the juke joint. There's always been juke joints. And then everything we do, even what we're doing now with our own show, when it's not mainstream and it's more from you, that's usually called urban. I feel like that's just a political name.
Code word for black. Yeah.
It's a code word for black. Yeah, 100%. Because Latin people get to have Telemundo and they get to be Latin or get to be Spanish, whatever. We're the only ones that is anything that's black is mean anti everything else, which is BS. So they say urban, they say city. City usually is us. But anyway, when you think about the urban comics who look down, the mainstream comics who look down on comedians who only do urban crowds, do you find any of those guys, you guys, when you watch Comedy Central, do you find any of those guys funny?
I think it's just a different humor.
Okay.
Because being around you, and then just listening to the different comedies. If I don't like it, I don't like it. But that doesn't mean that somebody else is not going to like it.
Right.
Everybody has their lane, but
right.
I think as far as with what you said, the mainstream and urban.
Mainstream is like Comedy Central. It's more
like black comedians that do white clubs only. They don't come do black rooms, man. They stay on the white side.
Yeah.
Right. Well, to me, honestly, I don't. If you could do both, then I don't see why not.
Right.
Just taking it with music now. Our urban people are getting into the country music, getting into the pop music. Get your money.
Right.
I don't see nothing wrong with it if you utilize it in the correct way.
Okay. All right. What about you, A?
Can't really. What would you call Roy Wood?
Mainstream.
I think he's funny.
Yeah.
I think he's funny, but I won't say I had to search for that name because I do think he's funny, but I can't tell you. I know a lot of those people that are on those larger platforms. I do see a lot of the social media people or whatever, which I don't really think that they have really sussed out being a professional, but
I actually know Roy Wood. I don't want to interrupt you. I know Roy Wood, and I opened for him at Lab House in Philly years ago. I ever tell you about this, Ella?
Nah, but Roy, before you tell that story, Roy Wood is one of the rare ones who can do both sides.
He can do both sides.
Yeah,
we had a conversation. we had a conversation about this, and he had told me he had done a club called Triad in the city when Will Sylvans and some he would go and do the Black Room, but Triad was a room in Manhattan, and this was what he said then. I don't know if Roy would remember he said this, but he definitely remembers me because he was just with somebody, and they told me, they said, Roy was talking about you the whole time on the truck. Roy, his whole thing on that is like this. When he would do the rooms, because of the professional atmosphere, it was hard because of the type of comedy he gives. It was hard for it to reach people. So he said, as long as Black people are in clubs where I can do what I do as a creator and it can be heard, it works. But what I do as a creator, I can't fight TVs and pool tables and fight noise, and it usually looks like my work has not been appreciated, so I don't go. So for him, it's more of, because we don't have the resources in the clubs, which is, when I opened for him, it was in a Black club. Black House was a Black club. It was more Black than mainstream. That's what, that was why he explained it. But you don't have a lot of guys say that. You have a lot of guys who just say, I stay away from those clubs because, and this is their words, because niggas don't like jokes. Niggas just want to hear grits versus oatmeal. And they downplay and look down on us. It's sort of like when you hear Tyrese talk to Shay Shay, or you hear so many of these guys who talk down on Black folks and say,
even A. Smith and Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, they love to say why we do this to our own, and this is not, and then they're wrong, because I watch Piers Morgan every day. Piers Morgan is fighting with a Palestinian, who's fighting with a Ukrainian, who's fighting with Jewish, and all of them are white, and none of them even let each other finish a sentence. So, and last I looked, the war in Ukraine was going over there. That's white on white. So just sometimes we are regurgitating and recycling these racist tropes. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We keep that alive.
Yeah, we don't support each other.
I don't agree with that.
Listen, you have your opinion, but from I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna take it from a DJ stand. Okay, I DJ'd a lot of places, about 4-5 times max at a lot of places. The white establishment, they done they upgraded. They can't think of the proper word now, but the upkeep of their building shows them making the improvements.
That's me.
I go to the Black side. It's the same thing. I'm 50 years old now. It ain't no way. I know that you made the money where you could have done this to make the upgrades. I shouldn't have to say this was looking like this 20 years ago.
So, okay, so what I'm saying to that, because I feel like this is going to turn into a rabbit hole, and it's one of those things we could just talk about forever, right? So you're not wrong at what you're saying. It's more of a classism thing. And I think that sometimes, too, with Black folks is that because we accepted that we're Black, we didn't create that, right? That was created onto you by government. If you look at the census, it has a thing on there called Black. It's not broken up. So they put us in a monolithic group. So because they put us in a monolithic group, we grab it and then we create and manage what they gave us. We're managing something.
But the Spanish. Go ahead.
We're managing something we didn't create. So even in Africa, those countries don't get along. Those tribes don't get along. So everybody's tribal. With Black people, there's a lot of tribes. You got the Divine Nine, you got the Eastern Stars, you got the Masons, you got the educated, you got the non-educated, you got the Christians, and then you got the seculars. And none of them rock with each other. So if you're in an environment where it's non-educated and it's secular, meaning they only go to church on Easter and they never really made it through high school, there is a mindset there that's not color based. But if you're hanging around those other ones, those upper class, they are getting the resources. They do have the accesses to the banks. They do have establishments that's re-innovating and doing things to make sure it works. I just think that what ends up happening is that enough of us don't have the money, because Lawrence works for a club, he can tap on this. Enough of us don't have the money, and then what ends up happening is because enough of us don't have the money, then the resources become a problem. Whereas with them, just like during COVID, when Trump gave all the people money, why did you give Chick-fil-A in the airports all those PP loans and all that, and then all the black establishments was closing down? So
they keep supporting each other. It goes back to the support for, and this is just my opinion.
Okay.
You understand? I mean, my town, and I'm gonna put them on blast. Inglewood, New Jersey, one of the Bergen County. They do not have a rec center for the kids. They've been pressing this issue for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
30 years. But you know what's going on now? They're putting up all these condominiums. They doing this. They doing that. They doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And who's behind it?
The politics is crooked. Politicians.
But my thing is, to a point, like I told them, why are you sitting at the table waiting to get in with them? There's other resources that you can do where you can start building your own stuff. Period. 30 years, they're not going to let you in. They're not going to let you in.
I just feel like black folks just need a powerful group like an NRA or what's that big group that the Jewish people have that if you say anything stupid, they'll shut you down.
Shut you down. But they stick together.
It's called, what is it, ACE? What is that group called, Lawrence? Do you know it?
I thought you were gonna say Illuminati.
No. It's a group.
No, I'm being facetious, man. I don't know the name of the group, man.
But I can't think of them now. But it's a group on the Jewish side that
right.
if you go left, then they're gonna fix it. They're gonna find out where you work, and I don't want to even go in here and call them bullies. I'm just saying I wish that black people had some type of organization. It's not NAACP. No, that was created to help the advancement of colored people. It's not going to be the Congress, the congressional black leaders, because we heard all of them was told to shut up and sit down when Hurricane Katrina was happening. They don't even have power like that. We think they do, but they don't. That's why they have to become a group so they can have their little parties once a year and go to their mansions. But at the end of the day, we don't have a big group like that. And the only way that big group is going to happen, to be honest with you, man, if all the entertainers, man, was to create it. Because that's really where the resources and money is being fled to. And they not trying to do it.
I agree. So, I mean, at this point, it's nothing going to change.
We're getting closer. We're getting closer, though, because I'm telling you, man, I've never seen the type of energy that I'm seeing with politics. And I've been you know me a long time. Mm-hmm. I've been on stage talking politics. Even LO would say to me, Marlon, do your politics, but be funny. And I would go on and on talking about I don't see how black men are not involved in politics because the legislations that are formed against you are through political power. So how can you not be into politics? And I would say it over and over. And then Charlemagne, man, I know people don't like him, but me and Abe talked about this last week. He's the first to actually use his platform to take it just a step closer to where everybody has to get involved. Because before him, it would just be these little segments on Tom Joyner and segments where they would let Al Sharpton come in and talk about what's going on, and then it would last for like a minute, or Tavis Smiley would come in and talk for a minute. But what you're seeing with Charlemagne and Angela Rye, and then you got YouTube, so you have all these podcasts. I'm just seeing way more people getting involved, but I'm also seeing it being used against us too when you have a bunch of black men with no mustaches going after Obama because he told them that them not voting for Kamala. I don't care who you vote for. I say they all crooked, but if I can vote for symbolism, I'm gonna vote for symbolism. Who don't vote for symbolism? They vote for symbolism. You don't think you don't think when they vote it's not because of somebody that look like that in the mirror? You don't think it's symbolism? So I got daughters. Y'all got daughters. You love your mother. If you don't love your mother, then you continue to love her. And put Kamala in the White House, and then we know she gonna do what she can. They gonna spank her. It's gonna be a rough 4 years, but it ain't gonna be no rougher than it's gonna be than Cheetos getting in there and getting everybody all excited and tripping, and They don't talk about that. They want to talk about how he got allegedly got shot at 3 or 4 times, but they don't want to talk about all the Haitian kids who got terrorized and couldn't go to school because he said they eating dogs and cats. Come on.
And once we get closer to that, then they'll do this. This just in a video Diddy back in 1943. Then we get distracted. Now we all, oh man, Diddy. Now here come the comedians with the Diddy jokes. Diddy. No, we need to stay back on like the things what Marlon was talking about. Every time they throw us something, R. Kelly, Michael Jackson, whoever,
Right.
we all come together and get stuck on that and get emotional on that.
Because we don't have our own.
Fast.
We don't have our own propaganda machine. I can always tell when I go on Facebook that everybody's watching CNN at the same time because it'll be something, and I'm like, who is that? How did that happen? Because I just don't. I left the propaganda machine alone because I'm tired of seeing myself doing evil things. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's always us doing this. So it's overbearing, man. And then once you start to really see how it plays a role in our relationships, our kids, women we marry, women we decide to have children with, women you think you're going on dates with, their kids. Like you start seeing you start seeing the large picture of how that propaganda machine has done such an outstanding job, man, just making us monsters, and they just keep making money on it continuously. Then you have to question and wonder why a lot of guys, man, become so extreme and radical. You get it. You start to say, I get it now.
And them two headless up in the booth in the Muppets.
Yeah, the two old dudes in the booth.
We go right back there.
Two old dudes. So I know we went over a little bit. So Abe, I want to give the last 10 minutes to you, man. Break it down, baby. You had something that you spoke up earlier. I thought was really good about. I'll let you do it. Go ahead.
Yeah, we won't say 10 minutes, but you all can give your thoughts on it. We did speak a little bit about the presidential candidates and the exonerated five. I'm sure most of us have seen the reenactment movie. There's been documents. There's been well documented. The exonerated five has just taken out a defamation lawsuit on Donald Trump. Donald Trump recently just said that they killed a woman in this wilding exhibition that happened in '89. They did not kill anybody. They didn't even rape anybody. There was someone who did confess to it. The 5 teenagers were coerced into a confession without legal representation or their parents. The case was completely thrown out. A lot of the story, well, not a lot of the story, but there is a major part around Corey Wise, who was actually had the lead. It was probably like the last to end up out there at Central Park, and he was actually the smallest. He spent the most time in prison and was very much so traumatized. There was definitely another young man. I shouldn't have named the name because I cannot speak to all of their names, but there was another young man who actually was reincarcerated. But once you open up that doorway, as somebody who's worked in programs for over 10 years and worked in the system in some behalf and for a very long time, the chances of you re-entering the system is above 70%. So for the young man who actually ended up going back to prison on a different charge or whatever, you open up that said Pandora's box, and the chances of repeat offending are pretty high. So we don't know what would have happened if he had not had that original engagement with the law. And also, once again, I'm not going to sit down and start to name names because you don't want to mess up anybody's name. I don't have them right here in front of me. They are in my notes, but I moved my notes. There was one of the young men became a city councilman in Harlem. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So one of them did join politics after that said experience. Trump took out 5 whole page ads think they were $20,000 a pop at the time, $100,000 in '89.
Yep.
It was wrong. I mean, and this isn't about picking a presidential candidate here or there, whatever and whatnot, but just as a good human being, more so just as a man. I fucked up, I fucked up. I made a mistake, I made a mistake. Obviously, he's standing on this and does not want to retract any statement, which shows some things about him character-wise because they have been found innocent. The jogger, although she is a lawyer, but uh, she's waffled on the story because I've read reports that said, oh yeah, well it wasn't the five that attacked me, and then she said things she didn't know, but there was someone who confessed to the crime and the DNA did match. That did happen, and you have somebody who is still 30 some odd years later, 89 or 35 years later, still
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question about that because I want to hear your opinion. When Donald Trump was in the debate with VP Harris, he was in a debate with her. For the very first time, he actually mentioned that. Yeah, he mentioned the exoneration. He said. He said they admitted that they did it. I know that they was coerced, but he said they admitted that they did it. So it wasn't just me; it was everybody who had pretty much said they were guilty, not just me. But I thought that was interesting because if you look at it, everybody back then in real time because they were coerced, everybody back then did make them boys guilty because of what the police did. Because the police forced them to say that they did it, they kind of put them out there to be guilty. I think it's just no different than how before Puff Daddy even had, or Sean Combs had a trial, he's already kind of been, everybody is already, everybody's kind of put a verdict on it. So I think in real time when Central Park happened, the reason everybody put a verdict on it, because they were coerced, and then they admitted that they did it, and they had the videotape of them saying they did it. So Trump's, and I ain't never taken up for Cheetos.
No, I got it.
But when he said it, I had an aha moment. Like, he never spoke on this. I said, so his what he's saying is wasn't just him, the mayor, everybody else, entire. He said because they admitted they did it. Why wouldn't I? And then he left it alone. He didn't touch it again.
Well, choose that about the debate list. For framing purposes, Kamala Harris baited him into it because, to what you were saying, because we have the luxury of knowing what happened, we have the foresight. So yeah, it is always not a good idea to rush judgment. This particular case and what he said during the debate, we have the luxury of knowing how the outcome happened. So that is why that is problematic now. I'm not saying that it should have been. I'm not saying that it was right back then, but we have that information now, and we know the different tricks that cops play. So
he could have said two things, and they both could have been right at the same time. Which is, listen, I did that because I didn't know, but I realize now, knowing what I know, that was a huge mistake, and he missed the opportunity.
Very much so, but I just said that though. Like I messed up. Yeah, I mean, it happened. It was something back then. All things looked slanted that way, so that is why I took that step. But when you can't admit that you're wrong about something,
you don't feel that he was wrong.
Yeah.
Exactly. You don't feel that he was wrong, so that's why he didn't say it.
Those type of guys. Go ahead. Those type of guys don't apologize.
Pardon me.
Those type of guys don't apologize. Republicans and all those old school guys, and Trump is from that world our fathers are from. Those guys don't apologize. They don't show emotions. They don't apologize. And you can see that in him with his own kids. All that we were speaking about our dad, you can see that with him and his own kids. There's a dad there, but there's a God there to them. But there's a detachment of any emotions at all, even with his wives, and that's how those dudes were back then. He's one of those old school dudes. They don't write nothing down. They don't. Never write anything down, and he'll tell you in a minute he don't drink. I think he's just not smart, but he is smart. I think he's not smart, meaning he's not smart when it comes to going toe to toe with people who got real education and been in politics for 30 years. That's why he deflects with identity politics. But he's smart enough to understand that if I speak to the culture of the Confederate flag who believes in heritage, I can mix all that into fear. And if I can win off fear, I'll deal with the rest of the stuff later. And that's why nobody believes him on that side. They say, oh, he's just talking, but he's not going to do anything. And that might be true. But the problem is, we're the ones that got to go to these gas stations and stores in these little towns all through America. And these people take him like God. And that's a problem for me at 2 in the morning pumping my gas in some damn sundown town in the middle of Virginia. Because he want to get them amped up with words that don't mean nothing to him because he's safe, but they mean everything to them, and it's a problem for us. Anyway, gentlemen, on that note, this was really good, man. Hey, Lawrence, I appreciate you.
Man, I appreciate you more, man. I enjoyed myself. Great meeting y'all, gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Chop, man, good meeting y'all. Looking forward to, coming up there with Marlon, banging these shows out. You know what I'm saying? So we can all hang out. Y'all can see how I get down.
Hey, Lord, I'd like to invite you back, man, if it's always open, man.
Man, just let me know ahead of time, and I'll rearrange my schedule, man, to come on back, man. I really thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Thank you, man. Anything you guys want to say before we close out? Chalk, you first, baby.
Nah, man, I'm good. Just share, and push the show out. That's it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. I got to get on that, and I'm gonna do better with it, man. And I like this one, so I'm gonna definitely be chopping this up. This was good. I like all of them, but this is we're gonna chop this up. Big A, man. Anything you want to say to the people before we leave?
Like I always say, I'm not asking you to agree, but I am asking you to think. These were just some of my thoughts.
I like that. I ain't asking you to agree, but I'm asking you to think about some of my thoughts. That's a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt. It should say too, and think about the Dallas Cowboys getting their ass beat by the Lions again. How about that?
Oh boy.
Is that another?
They try to jab.
With 100 years on them, and just getting a little success. Is that another one? Is that another one of them?
They hate.
It's sad they want to live in the past, Marlon. We talking about now.
Here we go with this one. Everybody want to cut things up to exist in your time frame and your time.
I'm going by today's time. Today's time say 5 and 2, and we're in first place. That's what today's saying.
The start of the show was in the past. We can't do that. No, if we gonna talk about it, we gonna talk about it. We gonna use the whole history. We not gonna talk. Go to the roof and take the quickest way down with that bullshit. I don't want to hear it. I see.
He said, "I see."
Right.
I see.
Right. Hello. Anything you want to say to the people before we lock out?
Oh man, the best ability is reliability and accountability. Live, love, laugh, and learn. Lawrence Owens.
That was a lot. Reliability, accountability, live, love, laugh, and love. Lawrence Owens. Hey, man, y'all know what it is. I'm Marlon Randolph, man, and it's always exciting, man, to laugh. And I know y'all always say, you're a comedian. Why you so serious? Hey, y'all didn't say that when y'all watched Cat Williams last year for 3 to 4 hours, and he was real serious, but you laughed. Why? You know why you laugh? Because laughter comes from authentic places and conversations. My name is Marlon Randolph, staff meeting. I love y'all. See y'all next week. Peace.
All right.
Peace.